Hi, I'm Kelly Thomas. Welcome to Ingenious Baby. Every week I'll interview leading experts to help you help your child reach their full potential so that your child can become all that they were born to be.
Welcome to Ingenious Baby.
So today we're here with Vivian Sonnenberg, a pediatric sleep consultant with more than 20 years of experience teaching babies all over the world how to sleep. Today she's going to talk about how to get our fussy toddlers to go to bed and give us tips to help them sleep through the night. So Vivian, thank you so much for being here.
Hi Kelly, always a pleasure.
Yes.
You know I love talking about babies and toddlers.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah.
Your video was my first video. It was one of my most popular ones. People are just, want to know how to get their babies to sleep through the night. It's a very big tip. I think a lot of times that doesn't happen, and now people have toddlers who are still not sleeping.
Kelly, something just came to my mind. There was an article, real quick, in the New York Times a few years ago, which of course I read. Tired toddlers trouble teens. We do not want that. So I feel that because I still do a lot of toddlers up to the age of 3 years. Sometimes I go a little bit older. I see that the trouble is that parents negotiate too much, and their parent is tired, it's working, and the child pushes and pushes. Mommy, I need a book. Mommy, I need pee-pee. Water, I'm hungry. Leave the door open, leave the door closed. Before you're done with all that, if you listen, then it's 10 o'clock and they're way too tired. So first thing is, don't negotiate. You're the mom, you're the dad, whoever it is, and you set the rules. You keep the toddler calm, you give it dinner, yes bath, no bath, read a book. Don't negotiate with how many books, because if you say, how many books do you want to read tonight, you will get 10 of the fattest books. They're super smart, these toddlers. You say 2 books, honey, that's it. And you read 2 books, lights out, go to bed. Many toddlers immediately jump out of bed. But mommy, I'm hungry now. You had dinner, you could have eaten dinner at the right time. No food now. We brush teeth, we're all over. Good night, walk away. Don't negotiate, because you're gonna negotiate for a long time. And also, I do rewards and consequences with toddlers. Rewards are, you can do stickers that they've never seen before. You make a little chart with 15 squares. And every morning that the toddler was in bed, I don't like to say a good boy, stayed in bed, didn't scream, didn't get out, he gets to put a fabulous sticker on the square 1. After 15 nights of perfect behavior, whether they just lie there in bed and talk to themselves, it's fine. But no getting out of bed, no screaming. At the end of the 15 days, they can have a special treat with mom or dad. Go to the zoo, go to the museum, go to the aquarium, or a new toy. I would prefer aquarium or an outing with mom or dad. Even from the age of 2, they start jumping out of the bed. In my times, that was unheard of. I don't know why they're doing it now. But anyway, a sleep sack works because they can't get their legs out. Sleep sack works, and the word no with angry little face works also. And if no doesn't work, you can threaten and tell the boy or the toddler or the girl, you buy a gate and leave it in the box, and you put it by the door. And it's totally fine to put a gate by the door. If you get out one time and you make it very clear, one time, honey, one, the gate is going up. End of the story. And they're pretty fabulous, the toddlers, because they do listen. Every single time that parent has threatened, they never got out. The other thing is, I just went to a little toddler that the dad had to sleep with the child on the floor until it went to sleep. And sure enough, as soon as she woke up, she got out of the room because where's dad? Please do not lie down or sleep on the floor with your child, because that's going to create problems. They wake up and you're not there, they start screaming. You read them a book, good night, I love you, you have needs too, you worked, you're going to have dinner with mommy, daddy, your friend, your whoever, but you have your own needs, and they have to accept that. Easy if you stick to the rules. If you waffle and you feel scared of your toddler, don't be. Your toddler will love you regardless. Actually, it might love you even more if they feel that you're in charge. It must put a lot of stress on a child that feels that he's in charge or she's in charge.
Which is probably
Out of control.
The biggest problems that parents are doing today, that they're letting the kids be in charge and not putting enough boundaries. Is that what you're saying? Is that one problem?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I see that. Parent is tired and they read all these things about toddler is a toddler, and no, if the toddler has a fit, you pick the toddler up so it doesn't get hurt. You don't discuss anything. And if it's time to go to bed, it's time to go to bed, in the crib or in the bed. I don't recommend to put toddlers, unless you need the crib, to take them out too soon.
What happens if you take them out too soon? What do you mean by that?
They get out of bed.
Okay.
They get out of bed. Unless it's being trained really, really well from birth, and I mean from birth, to sleep well, then sometimes they don't, but the percentage is very small. Most of them get out of bed.
And so just you recommend having the crib
As long as
not put them.
possible. And then you make a big deal of buying a crib. They can pick their sheets if you don't mind, and they get a new friend in the bed.
You talk about you won't work with kids older than 3 to train them. Why not?
Well, I've done 4 years that slept with his mom for 4 years. And I did that one because it was a referral from a pediatrician that I felt very close to. And I did the 4-year-old, super easy the way we did it. And the reason is, Kelly, that I don't work with older children, because I think that the mom would have a very, very hard time, because I would have to be super honest, and the mom would have a hard time with that.
Right.
A 5-year-old that never slept, not good. And I've heard that.
So are there things that parents, you talk about things that we shouldn't be doing before the child goes to bed, but are there things that would help them kind of get in the sleeping mode?
Definitely. Just like the baby, keep calm. If dad comes home and is wrestling and having a great time and flying airplanes with them and chasing them all over the house to make them laugh and scream, it's going to be hard to get them down. Dad can play with them, or mom, and have fun and read and ask them how the day went, but try not to excite them too much.
So obviously no screens and no... So, yeah.
No screen,
Yeah.
for various reasons, because if a little 2-3-year-old watches something on TV, everything, even kids' movies, have something scary, a little something, and they dwell on that. And then they wake up in the middle of the night and they say, "Mommy, monster," scared, monster under the bed, in the closet. So nothing scary, even a scary, anything in a book, Little Red Riding Hood that nobody reads anymore, or the 3 Little Pigs that got eaten by the wolf, if I'm not mistaken. No more.
Right.
keep it really calm and simple. And if they say before they go to bed, just to keep you in the room, I'm scared. There's nothing to be scared, honey. Mommy's here. You do a little night light. I'm totally fine with a night light. Not that shining in their face, but a little night light. Everything is fine. I love you. Good night. Don't keep repeating the same thing, because then you're going to get but. Mm-hmm. I need.
You have to be very firm and just, this is it. And if they keep coming out, you just...
If they keep coming out, if you keep going in, they keep coming out. If you say, honey, stay in bed, really sweet mom, loving mom, like we all are, doesn't work. No, I'm going to put the gate up if you come out one more time. And then you put the gate up. And then what happens is they scream in front of the gate. They'll scream one night, they won't scream the second night, and they'll stay in bed.
Right.
Super easy.
Yeah, so why do you think some of these toddlers are having problems? I mean, for sleeping, I mean, how did they get to that point?
Definitely, Kelly. If they never had really good sleeping habits, they're not going to have good sleeping habits as toddlers. The babies that I've trained, the mom tells me, oh, my 2-year-old is sleeping so well, no problems. Because they call me for baby number 2, number 3, no problems. If they've slept well from 4 months on, or even earlier, no problems. Because it's a matter of fact.
Right.
Why should it change? It changes if they're sick. Of course you take care of them. But don't put them in your bed, because then they're going to go into your bed.
And it's hard to get them out, because a lot of people say, oh, they'll just grow out of it.
No. Very hard. Then you have to go through the same training program.
Right.
Very hard to get them out of your bed. And so the other bump on the road, which some people might call regression, there's no regression. There's no 4 months regression. They're what I call this bumps on the road. Maybe at 4 months they roll over. Well, we deal with that. But it's not a regression. At 2 years, there's no regression.
There's no regression. So why do people think that there is? Like, what do people? I've heard a lot of moms say, "Oh, my baby was sleeping so well, and all of a sudden they're 2, and they're getting it." Why are people saying that?
Because mom has given in.
Oh, you think it's because she's changed, not being strict?
Absolutely.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because they'll pull the strings. Why are toddlers better behave with maybe grandparents or nannies? They actually are better behaved. So if the toddler pulls the strings on mom or dad, and the mom is, we're all in love with our children, but we cannot give in. Don't give in. Of course, if the child is sick, you go, you tend to the baby or the toddler, you do whatever the pediatrician says. As soon as the toddler is fine, back to cold turkey.
Is it a lot easier or really difficult if you haven't had a sleeping baby? Is it just very difficult to get your toddler to all of a sudden start sleeping if you've had no rules and they are getting up for 2 years?
Much harder.
Yeah.
Until they call me.
That's when they call me.
I mean, that's when they call me. Yes.
Yeah, just 2 years of no sleep.
Yeah. Many times they have said, "Oh, the baby or the baby slept really well, and now he's 2 and he's jumping out of the crib." That's what I get the most.
Okay. And you think it's just because the parents are starting to give in? Or
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
It's scary to jump out of the crib, and you just say no. You put the sleep sack on, or just a plain no. You're going to hurt yourself. Don't put pillows on the floor, and do not take them out of the crib.
Yeah.
Because then everybody takes them out of the crib.
Right.
And that's when you get the big problems.
Big ones.
Starts jumping out of the crib.
So in the middle of the night, so we talked about this a little bit, if they're getting up in the middle of the night, you just have to give the rules ahead before they go to bed?
Ahead, exactly. Because if they come out at 2 in the morning or at 4, and you're too tired and you just let them in, you're done for it. That's it.
Don't keep getting in.
Exactly. And to keep going in, honey, stay in your bed, doesn't work, because the next night they get programmed. It's always at the same time. 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, they come out, Mommy, I need you. I've heard things like, I love you so much, I can't be without you. What mom won't give in to that?
Right.
Don't.
Right.
You love them too in the morning. I love you so much too.
So what are the implications then if the toddler is not sleeping? What are some of the implications that affect their cognitive development in any way?
Behavior. Really bad behavior. Tired, throwing things on the floor, not eating properly, running around with the food, problems in school, daycare, wherever it is. No one child that had 3 daycares.
Oh, wow.
Nobody would take them, a toddler.
Oh, really? Because they weren't sleeping.
Behavior.
Yeah.
And the mom said he's not sleeping. It's just because parents are working now, most of them, and then it's super hard to have discipline for the toddler during the day. So some 2-year-olds don't nap.
Right.
Then they need to nap, but if they don't, they need to be in bed by 6:30. End of the story. And sleep at least 12 hours. 6:37 if they don't take a nap, and if they're 2 years old. 3-year-old can go to bed at 7.
Okay.
But if they start, I need a book, I need this, I need a pee-pee, I need a poo-poo, I need whatever, then before you know it, it's 8.
Right.
And then they can't sleep, and then they get
Because they're overtired.
overtired.
So you have to get them in the bed by 7 or it takes twice as long.
Exactly.
Right.
And if they start saying, I need a drink or I need more food, well, honey, tomorrow for evening. And then the next evening, you remind him or her, drink your milk now, your water, whatever your food is, because that's it.
Right.
I'm big on discipline. You don't have to be mean, you don't have to be angry, but just stick to your rules, stick to your beliefs. If you believe that your child should be sleeping by 7, don't listen to Toddler and Regression and, mind is developing. It'll develop more if the toddler sleeps. For sure it'll develop. And less phone during the day.
Oh, less phone.
Oh,
Phone.
zero
in terms of
phone.
Yeah,
if
zero. At that
possible.
age, I mean, they
well,
should be
a
having.
lot of them. A lot of them have fun. I see a lot of them at the age of 2
having phones.
with a phone.
And that
in the
helps-
stroller.
That impedes the sleeping.
No, but it impedes, looking at the trees and the dogs on the, when they go for a walk. It just takes them away from nature. So sad.
I know.
It just,
That's sad, yeah.
I have so many moms that say, my child is bored. I don't know what to do. A baby is bored. Kelly, a baby of 3 months is not bored. It has the whole world to look at.
Yeah.
A toddler has books, has nice, don't buy too many toys.
Yeah.
Quality toys.
Less is more.
Less is more. Because the children that have too many toys, I see this every day. Too many toys, they run from one to the other. Nothing. Don't focus on anything. Less is more.
Less is more. Helps with just being calmer and more focused.
Exactly.
And just
Exactly.
overall. Is there any one takeaway that you'd want parents of toddlers to know?
Trust in yourself. Trust in yourself. You're a good mom, a good dad. Don't listen. Don't think, well, yes, your toddler is special. Yes, your toddler is wonderful. But the rules are kind of the same. You also should think you're doing your toddler a favor. It's going to be good in school. It's going to be calmer. It's going to eat better. It's going to be smilier, more lovingly. Lovingly is the right word. Loving, and just calm.
That's a universal
It's
thing.
a universal problem.
And my belief, because I obviously help with my two children, is that if you, the parents aren't sleeping, then you're not as good of a parent as you could be
Exactly.
if you don't have the sleep.
You lose your patience, and if you
Yeah.
lose your patience, it all goes.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything goes.
So
Keep
where
it-
people should go to just talk to the pediatrician, or if they have further questions about sleeping, they can contact you.
Definitely can contact me. I love talking about babies, toddlers, sleeping.
Well, thank you so much for coming again and showing
Yeah,
the
thank
next
you.
stage of sleeping. It's I appreciate having your insight. So.
Thank you. I like it.
If you know someone who'd be a great fit for the show, come on over to ingeniousbaby.com and share your tips and story ideas. You are your baby's first and best teacher.